Welcome back to Akanno Security Labs. In our previous videos, we explored malware, phishing, and the 8 CISSP security domains. But today's cybercriminals don't rely on just one attack anymore. They combine multiple techniques, sometimes all at once, to bypass security, steal sensitive data, and stay hidden for weeks or even months. So today, we're taking things a step further. We'll explore advanced attack techniques used by real-world threat actors. We'll talk about password attacks, cryptographic attacks, physical attacks, adversarial artificial intelligence, and supply chain attacks. Along the way, I'll show you how each one fits into the CISSP security domains, so you'll understand not just how these attacks work, but also how security professionals defend against them, whether you're studying for the CISSP, preparing for Security Plus, or working toward becoming a SOC Analyst. This lesson is for you. Let's get started. Let's begin with something almost everyone uses every day, passwords. It might surprise you, but weak passwords are still one of the biggest reasons organizations get hacked. Technology has improved dramatically over the years, yet many people still use passwords that attackers can guess in seconds. One of the oldest techniques is called a brute force attack. Imagine standing in front of a locked door with thousands, or even millions, of keys. Instead of trying to guess which one is correct, you simply try every single key until one works. That's exactly what a brute force attack does. Today, attackers use powerful computers equipped with graphics cards that can test billions of password combinations every second. What would take a human years to accomplish can now happen in minutes. Another common technique is called a dictionary attack. Instead of trying every possible combination, attackers use massive lists of passwords that people commonly choose. Things like password 1 to 3, welcome 20 to 5, admin, or even the word password. Unfortunately, people often believe these passwords are unique enough. They're not. Attackers also perform what's known as credential stuffing. Here's how it works. Suppose your email address and password were leaked during a data breach several years ago. Even if that breach wasn't related to your bank or your workplace, attackers will automatically try those same credentials on hundreds of other websites. If you've reused the same password, they might gain access to multiple accounts without ever needing to crack anything. Then there's the rainbow table attack. Normally, passwords are stored as hashes instead of plain text. A hash converts a password into what looks like random characters. Attackers create enormous databases containing millions, sometimes billions, of pre-computed hashes. If a stolen password hash matches one in their database, they immediately know the original password. Fortunately, modern systems defend against this by using something called salting. A salt adds random information to every password before it's hashed, making rainbow tables practically useless. All of these attacks fall under the communication and network security domain, because compromised credentials almost always become the first step toward unauthorized access. Now let's imagine the attacker can't steal the password. What happens next? Instead of attacking the user, they attack the encryption itself. Encryption protects information while it's being stored and while it's traveling across networks. It's one of the most important security technologies we have, but encryption is only as strong as its implementation. One attack is known as a collision attack. Hash functions are designed so every unique input produces a unique output. A collision occurs when two completely different pieces of information generate exactly the same hash value. If attackers discover these collisions, they may be able to bypass integrity checks or manipulate digital signatures. Another dangerous technique is the downgrade attack. Imagine your web browser wants to establish a secure connection using the latest version of TLS. An attacker secretly intercepts that communication and tricks both sides into using an older, weaker version of encryption instead. The connection still appears secure, but it's actually using technology that may already be vulnerable. Attackers love outdated protocols because researchers have often discovered ways to break them. This is why organizations regularly disable older encryption standards and insist on modern versions of TLS. Cryptographic attacks mainly belong to the communication and network security domain because they target secure communications directly. Cybersecurity isn't only about software. Sometimes the easiest way into a company isn't through the firewall. It's through the front door. Physical attacks focus on hardware, devices, and people. One of the most famous examples is USB baiting. An attacker intentionally leaves infected USB flash drives around an office parking lot or reception area. Eventually, someone picks one up, curiosity takes over, they plug it into their work computer, and just like that, malware is installed. Another growing threat involves malicious USB cables. These look exactly like ordinary charging cables, But hidden inside is a tiny computer capable of typing commands automatically as soon as it's connected. Within seconds, it can download malware, create administrator accounts, or steal sensitive information. Attackers also use card skimming. Small hidden devices are attached to payment terminals or ATMs. They quietly copy payment card information, while customers continue using the machine without realizing anything is wrong. Corporate environments face similar risks through badge cloning. Employee access cards use RFID technology. If attackers copy those credentials, they may gain physical access to restricted areas without forcing a single lock. These threats belong primarily to the asset security domain because they're targeting physical assets instead of software. Technology alone cannot stop these attacks. Organizations also need employee awareness training, surveillance cameras, controlled building access, and strict device policies. Now let's talk about one of the newest frontiers in cybersecurity. Artificial intelligence. AI has become an incredible tool for defenders. Security software now uses machine learning to detect malware, identify phishing emails, and recognize suspicious behavior much faster than humans can. Unfortunately, attackers are using AI to. This is known as adversarial artificial intelligence. Instead of attacking people directly, attackers manipulate machine learning systems themselves. For example, they may slightly modify malicious software so that an AI model incorrectly classifies it as harmless. The malware hasn't changed much, but the AI no longer recognizes it. Another technique involves poisoning training data. Imagine teaching a student using incorrect information every single day. Eventually, the student begins making bad decisions. That's exactly what happens when attackers secretly inject false information into AI training datasets. The result: security tools begin making mistakes. Attackers are also using generative AI to create convincing phishing emails, realistic fake websites, clone voices, deepfake videos, and even computer code capable of launching attacks automatically. Artificial intelligence is changing cybersecurity for both defenders and attackers because these attacks affect authentication, identity verification, and network protection. They span both the identity and access management domain and the communication and network security domain. Finally, let's discuss one of the most dangerous threats facing organizations today. The supply chain attack. Instead of attacking the organization directly, attackers compromise someone the organization already trusts. Imagine a bank that installs software updates from a trusted vendor. If attackers successfully compromise that vendor, they can secretly insert malicious code into the update. The bank installs it without hesitation because it appears legitimate. Now multiply that by hundreds or even thousands of organizations. One successful attack can spread worldwide before anyone notices. This is exactly why supply chain attacks are considered some of the most devastating cyber attacks in history. Organizations reduce this risk by carefully evaluating vendors, verifying software integrity, digitally signing updates, continuously monitoring third-party systems, and adopting zero-trust security principles. And like many attacks we've discussed today, supply chain attacks affect multiple CISSP domains simultaneously. They involve security and risk management, security architecture and engineering, security operations, and even software development security. So, what should you remember from today's lesson? Modern attackers don't rely on just one technique anymore. They combine credential theft, cryptographic weaknesses, physical compromise, artificial intelligence, and supply chain vulnerabilities into coordinated attacks designed to bypass traditional defenses. As security professionals, our job isn't simply to respond after an attack happens. Our job is to understand how these attacks work, recognize the warning signs early, and build systems that remain resilient even when attackers change their tactics. That's why learning the CISSP domains is so valuable. They provide a structured framework for thinking about cybersecurity from every angle: people, processes, technology, and risk. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Akanno Security Labs, and turn on notifications so you never miss a lesson. And before you go, leave a comment below. Which advanced attack would you like us to demonstrate next in our home lab? Until then, stay curious, keep learning, stay secure, and I'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and share this video. And subscribe to Akanno Security Labs for more.